Hi everyone, my name is Brian Sanford, and I am going to be talking about how America is wasting all their food, or a lot of their food. Um, for this ethical types, I decided to choose virtue and canteenism. I chose virtue because of the slaughter that we have to do at our company. Um, I work at a chick hatchery, and we are constantly hatching and setting eggs, and it's uh, it's a waste of resources. We have to throw away so many birds every week because nobody buys them or because there's just too many. And I've also decided on canteenism because I feel like everyone should be responsible because we're not all using the resources that we're given. They're all going to waste, or a lot of them are going to waste, and that's something that other countries don't have. And we're kind of throwing all this stuff away when it could be used for something else. The Guardian is one of the sources that supports my topic. On average, the United States wastes about 54 million tons of food in just a year, and it's filling all our landfills. This rotting food and all this other stuff is just filling our landfills full of stuff that doesn't need to be there. People are also starving, which means we can be taking all this food and instead of throwing it in our trash, give it to someone else who actually needs a meal. I mean, there's lots of homeless people. I'm sure they'd enjoy a meal. Um, the funny thing is that people who think they're really healthy are actually being the most wasteful. For example, vegans, vegetarians, they don't eat as much meat, or they don't eat any meat, and they have to eat more in order to get the calories that they need to finish their day. And all of their food goes into the landfill because they have to make more, they don't eat it all, and so it gets thrown out. Uh, from my experience, people don't want roosters. We throw away at the hatchery that I work for. We throw away about 3/4 of the roosters that we hatch. No one wants them because they're laying eggs, or they don't lay eggs. That's the hen's job. And we throw away about half the hens because they don't sell. Um, so I think that something can be figured out to where we can get people to start raising their own food, or taking care of, or keeping in mind that something needs to be changed when they are cooking. Um, so ironically, there was a an article from the Happy Chicken Coop that went against my argument, and Northwest Edibles as well. Um, Northwest Edibles says that it is too expensive to raise a small flock of chickens, and it kind of is. It's about 70 cents per pound of food that a chicken will eat, and if you take that into consideration, it costs about $245 to maintain a hen just with food. Um, that's getting them to live to a nice old age and not taking into consideration anything else but feed. If she has 6 chicks, however, that cost to maintain her and the chicks jumps to about $1,500. Um, there's a quota for animals within city limits, especially farm animals. You can only have a certain amount, and that's making it hard for people to have small flocks because if your hen does have chickens, all of a sudden you have to be selling them, and people within the city, if they start buying from you, they can only have so many, and before you end up running out of ideas until you have to throw them away, just kind of like our hatchery does. The Hackett Chicken Coop, they give 7 reasons why you should not have chickens. And I decided to only pick 2 just because there are a lot, and these 2 seem to be the best ones. The first one, chicken coops are a lot of money. Your chicken has to have a shelter to keep warm, and if she's going to lay her eggs, you don't want them laying all over your yard. A cheap one can still cost about $100, and that's making out of scraps, little bits and pieces that you find all over the floor. The high-end ones I've seen go for $2,000, but just a nice middle range one still costs about $500, and that's making sure that your hen is warm and that she's comfortable. Reason two is chickens are dirty and they have to give themselves dust baths. The dust bath isn't that big of a deal. I mean, usually you're not petting your chickens, but it does get to be a problem when they start pooping on each other. And this does happen. It happens more often than you think, and when they start taking their dust baths, they get dirty and the bacteria starts to grow, and eventually it leads to maggots underneath the skin, which is gross and can make the chicken very sick. So my thoughts and feelings on this, I feel like it's an awful situation that we're in. For one, I don't like throwing away birds, especially live, healthy ones that could be used for something else. And it's hard doing that. I have to walk by the dumpster and I have to hear those birds chirping throughout the day. And I think that if more people recognize what's happening and realize what's happening and how we're throwing away resources from the beginning, not just at the end when we're done with them, that maybe they'll decide to find it in their hearts that this needs to be taken care of, this needs to be fixed. So, thanks for watching, everyone. I'll be happy to answer any of the comments below. Thanks.